Take away my factories, someone once said, and I'll build a new and better factory. But take away my people, and grass will grow on the factory floor. Come on, who said that? Was that some bleeding heart social humanitarian do-gooder who never really had to make a payroll? No. Those are the words of Andrew Carnegie, the immigrant industrialist, a capitalist with a capital C, a man whose bank account in today's dollars would stir envy in the heart of Bill Gates, not to mention John Kohler. And yet here he was talking about the value of people to his steel business, just like the value of people to your men's haircut business. And so I want to be very clear about the premise of this presentation today, and that is very simply this: that creating a focused, engaged, and capably led workforce is one of the best things you can do for your bottom line.
So there are two kinds of organizations in this country: those who complain about millennials and those who change their organizations so that they are able to burn the available fuel. Because let's face it, they are not making any more baby boomers. Okay? Production on that model has shut down. Now, I said earlier, it's not about a mission statement. How many of you, I'm just curious, how many of you, for your company, you have a mission statement published somewhere? That's great. Guess what? Nobody cares about your mission statement. I'm sorry to tell you that. They don't. If you've hired the right people, they care a lot about your mission. They just don't care about your mission statement. However, if you do need a new mission statement, I can recommend a book. This is a real book, the Mission Statement Book, 301 Corporate Mission Statements from America's Top Companies, $17.95. And in this book, you will find such jewels as this. Our mission is to maximize shareholder value and satisfy our customers' needs while providing our employees a rewarding and productive work environment and conducting our affairs responsibly in the community. We will accomplish this mission by creating a corporate vision of successful growth by carefully managing our assets and by integrating our business through effective planning and allocation. Well, I'm pumped, aren't you? What does this mean? What do these people even do? Some of you live in a community that is served by a Chick-fil-A. You're familiar with Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A simply takes a little different view of this whole mission thing. Okay, so do this for me. Pretend you are at the eye doctor getting your annual eye exam. Which is clearer, A or B? It just doesn't have to be so complicated. Only when all 36 had been fed did the sergeant major sit down to see if there was anything left. And so the young boy came up to him and he said, "Why'd you go last? You're the boss man." And the sergeant major looked at him and said, "Lad, first ye feed the troops. They're nae use hungry. First you feed the troops. They're no use hungry." 40 years later, Jim Prentice found himself once again on the island of Orkney, this time not as a soldier, but as a tourist, and this time accompanied by his wife and his grown daughter, who is now my wife. And one afternoon, Jim was going for what he would call a wee donna, a short walk. He was looking for a pub, if you want to know. And he came upon land that bore a strange air of familiarity, and suddenly he knew he was there at that same farm. And about this time, a man in his late 40s came walking across the farm, and Jim engaged with him, and he said, "You won't believe it, it was back during the war. It was right here, and a snowstorm came in, and I went to that door, and I knocked on the farmhouse door, and the farmer came down it." And the man interrupted him, and he said, "First ye feed the troops." And Jim said, "Oh, you're no the wee boy." He said, "Aye." He said, "I've always remembered I've always remembered that night, primarily because we didn't have anything for breakfast the next morning. But I've always remembered what that sergeant major told me. First, you feed the troops. I took over the management of this farm about 20 years ago." He said, "I've always remembered that. First, you feed the troops, and we've done pretty well. First, you feed the troops." Make sure your managers are good leaders. Hire for fit. Define your mission in clear and compelling terms. Ask your people, what are our top 3 business priorities? Make sure they understand how their work matters. Say thank you, and say it a lot. And feed the troops first. Everybody is hungry for something. What are your people hungry for?